Alright, this is 8th grade math 3.2, and in your book that would be on page 122. Woo! I don't know what that was, sorry. Go back, go back, go back. Erase that. Page 122. Alright, so our key vocabulary. Equivalent equations, which I believe we had before, those equations that are equal to each other. Okay, and inverse operations, those undo each other. So the same thing, except this time we're going to concentrate on multiplication and division. We showed how we're supposed to show that's division. Can't read my terrible handwriting right there. Multiplication and division. So let's take a look at some of these, and I told you to get used to seeing that fractions were division problems. So what I do, just like I do in addition, well, let's look at the key concept first, excuse me. Okay, so the key concept, and there's two of them, it's just like in addition and subtraction. Let's combine them together. It's the multiplication and the division property of equality. Equality means we want to treat everything equal. So that's saying we can either multiply or divide both sides of an equation, and it'll come up an equivalent equation. So here's an example. X divided by 3 equals 4. So just like before, I find the side with the letter. I want to get the letter by itself. And when I say it out loud, it's x divided by 3. Well, I think to myself, what's the opposite or the inverse, or what undoes division? That would be multiplication. And we're going to show it by putting a dot right here and a times, because they undo each other. So it means that basically, for lack of a better way, we can say, whoop, poof, it goes away. And if I multiply this side of the equation, I have to multiply this side of the equation. So this time x would be 12. So let's check it. Is 12 divided by 3 4? It is. 3 goes into 12 4 times. So now let's look at a multiplication equation. 2x equals 24. So when I say it with an operation. That's 2 times x. The opposite of timesing by 2 would be to divide by 2. Now here's where I'm going to get picky. I want you to show your division by putting a line under there. That's division. Don't put divided by. Don't use that sign. If I divide this side by 2, I want to divide this side by 2. Whenever you undo it on the side with the letter, it cancels it out, and x over here equals 12, because 2 goes into 24 12 times. So check our work. 2 times 12 is 24, and it works. So there's the two key concepts, but we've kind of combined them together on page 122 and 123. So take a look. We'll say this one out loud. Y divided by 3. And you say, well, I want to get the y by itself. What's the opposite of dividing by 3? Multiplying by 3. So I multiply this side by 3. I times this side by 3. Notice I'm using the dot. I don't use an x, because then it looks like another unknown, and it makes it really hard to read. So the 3's are going to cancel out, and in this case y equals 15. So to check our work, is 15 divided by 3 5? Yes, it is. So let's see what happens here. They do the work. Multiply each side by 3 to undo the division. So they do just exactly like we did. And then those 3's cancel out, and 5 times 3 is 15. There's the bell again. They check their work just like we did, and it works. Okay, so let's solve a division equation, or an equation using division. This is a multiplication equation to start with. The inverse of multiplying is to divide. So again, I say it out loud. Negative 2.5 times x. So I want to get this x by itself. So what's the opposite of timesing by negative 2.5? That would be dividing by negative 2.5. And if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other side. So those cancel out. I don't know how I get that straight line. X equals, now I got to take 20 divided by 2.5. I divide by decimals, I have to go over, over, and up, because I can't have a decimal on the outside. 25 into $200, there's 8 quarters in $2 or 200, so that goes in there 8 times. A positive and a negative make a negative. So I'm getting negative 8. So let's check our work. Negative 2.5 times 8. Let's see if it comes out to be 20. 0, carry the 4. That's 16 plus 4 is 20. 1 decimal place over. And a positive and a negative make a negative. Ooh. Positive and, oh wait, the 8 is negative 2. Right here. Sorry, I forgot that. 2 negatives make a positive when you multiply them. I don't know where that line's coming from. There's the dividing. And there's negative 8 is the answer. Alright, example number 3. We're dealing with just a problem solving now. 90 basketball players show up for a tournament. Write and solve an equation to find out how many 5-person teams can be formed. So 90 basketball players. So as far as our equation goes, there's 5 on a team. So how many teams of 5, 5 times t, could you make with 90 players? So 5 times t, the opposite of timesing would be to divide. And how many times will 5 go into 90? Goes in there once. Subtract, that's 40, goes in there 18 times. So you would be able to make 18 teams of 5. T be the number of teams. There's their verbal model. There's our algebraic model, which we agree. And I mean, most of you would divide by 5 in the first place anyway, which is fine to do. And they get 18. Okay, so let's do some of these. And again, just like before, you have to write the original problem down. So everybody in your guided practice, write this down right now. Find the side with the letter, and let's say it out loud. X divided by 9. So you have to say what's the opposite of dividing by 9. That would be multiplying by 9. So I multiply both sides by 9. The 9's where you undo them cancel out. And I don't know what 21 times 9 is off the top of my head. I get 189. Works out. Let's see if they agree with us. Original equation. Multiply both sides by 9 to undo the division. 189. We agree. Check. Oh, we should check it. So take 189 divided by 9. 9 goes into 18 twice, which is 18. 9 goes into 9 once, which is 21. Worked out. Alright, let's find the side with the letter. Write this down first. Everybody write this original problem. Get used to it. You just write it down. Don't gripe about it. Just do it. X divided by 3.5. So x divided by 3.5, the opposite of dividing is to multiply by 3.5. Multiply this side by 3.5. The 3.5's cancel out. So 14 times 3.5. Act like the point isn't there and just multiply like a 2-digit. That's a 2. That's 7. Put a place of 12. My pen freezes. 12. Carry the 1. 3. That would be 4. 0, 9, 4. And put 1 decimal place in your answer. I'm getting 49. So check our work. 49 divided by 3.5 is supposed to be 14. Let's check it out. We can't divide by a decimal. Over, over, and up. Put a 0. 35 goes into 49 once. Oops, I don't know where that comes from. And 35 goes into 140. It's supposed to go 9 times. Let's see. Did I make a mistake? 35 times 9. No, times 4. Because the answer is supposed to be 14. I don't know why I'm getting all these lines. I'm sorry. 35 times 4. 0, carry the 2. That would be 140. Yep, it comes out to be 14. So it checks. our original equation. There we go, 49. And then checking by dividing again, 14 equals 14. Okay, now there's a different one. This is multiplying, so we find the side with the letter. You say it out loud. First, write the problem down. Write that down, just like that. Now say 9 times x, and then you say to yourself, what's the opposite of timesing by x? Not timesing by x, sorry. What's the opposite of timesing by 9? Would be to divide by 9. So we divide this side by 9, and we divide this side by 9. Our 9's cancel out where they undid each other, and 9 goes into 54 6 times. So we check our work. 9 times 6 is 54. So we know we're right. I like those. Those are fun. There's the original equation. There's the dividing. X equals 6. Perfect. Now, don't forget about these negatives. These negatives seem to be kind of bother us sometimes. It says 48 equals negative 3x. So we say, find this, we write it down, write this problem down. Find the side with the letter. This is negative 3 times x. What's the opposite of timesing by negative 3? Would be to divide by negative 3, and we have to do that to both sides. The negatives cancel each other out, and they're gone. The 3's do because they undid each other. How many times will 3 go into 18? Well, I know that's 16. A positive and a negative make a negative. Now, if you don't know how many times 3 goes into 48, you're just really fast. Do a quick division, and you try to write better than me, and it goes in there 16 times. So negative 16. And negative 16 times 3 is 48, and it's negative. Sorry, the 16 is negative, the 3 is negative, so it comes out positive, so it checks. So there's our original equation. They're working to solve it. We get it, negative 16. Check it. Okay? I want to see your checks also on your assignment. All right, guided practice. Team size. A teacher divided a class into 4 teams with 6 students per team. Write and solve a division equation to find the class size. So she took a certain number of kids, x, and divided it by 4 and got 6 on each team. So there's our division equation. That's x divided by 4. The opposite of dividing by 4 is to times by 4. We do that to both sides. Those cancel out. X equals 24. So there were 24 kids in the class when she split them into 4 groups, and there's 6 in each group. Let's see if I got that right. And there we go. 24. All right, so I expect, again, just like on the other one, you're showing your work. Say them out loud. That really helps if you I know it might sound kind of crazy to talk to yourself, but talk to yourself and talk through it. And we'll see you on the next lesson. Bye.